Scientists were always fascinated with the DNA of the African race. And the reason being, if you want to understand science, if you want to understand the universe, look no further than the original people. Dr. Leakey, and also, what's his name, a professor from Oxford, and he had a PhD in Oxford and Cambridge, they argued if you want to understand the mysteries of life, its beauty, its tapestry, its mystery, look no further than the original people, the black man and woman. Because in this quest, you will discover the reasons and the purpose to existence. Because when you look at the earth, when you look at the moon and the stars and the tapestry of how they interwoven with each other, you are looking at the nature of the black man and black woman, formed and molded from the beauty of the earth's crust, made in the image of the divine. So when you are looking at the black gods and the black goddesses, you are looking at health, you're looking at beauty, art, one that Michelangelo would have gladly painted and drawn against a canvas. But why is it that there is a fascination with the African DNA? And what exactly are they trying to do or discover? When coronavirus first came about, we were told that it should not really reach our people, and the reason being is because our DNA testifies to our divinity. Our metaphysical nature to being able to transcend the illnesses that affects the European people. But as we begin to look at it, we get to realize that more black people are dying from COVID than anybody else. And you have to ask yourself the question, why all of a sudden? If our DNA is made in the image of the divine, why suddenly are we becoming susceptible to the same illnesses as the Europeans, or even having more illnesses than they are? I was researching for this video and came across this writer who actually pointed out 40 years of experiment being conducted against the African American, because they are fascinated by our makeup, because we are the original people. They came from us. Without us, there would be no creation. Without us, there'd be no planet. The world exists because we, the original people, the black man and woman, we allowed it to exist. And this has troubled those who want to oppress us and undermine us, and therefore they cut into our DNA, analyzing our weaknesses and strengths. Hence why I take loads of vitamin D, because obviously with this coronavirus, etc., we need the sun. We are people of the sun. This is the secret to blackness, is the sun, the earth, and therefore, like Samson, to every strength there is a weakness. And sadly, Yakub, I use that term deliberately, understands that if he can tap into our weaknesses, fathom it, then he can then destroy us as a race, as a people. Destroy us, but keep the planet, the universe, which came about as a result of us, keep it going, but without black people. Same principle with music. We started R&B, we started even rock and every kind of swing, jazz, it's all rock music, all came through us. But get rid of us, but keep the music. Same as the fashion industry. Get rid of us, but keep the fashion industry. We become a means to an end in which to serve their purpose. Sadly, what is happening? Many of us, we are becoming ill because we don't understand the matrix of the medical system and how we are being experimented on. They pretend they want to heal us, etc. There are tons of evidence out there. Just look up experiment on the African and you will see loads wrapped on Google. In fact, the Independent call themselves independent, but while they talk about the unlocking the code to the African DNA, they refuse to give you access unless you subscribe. To call themselves independent, but there's thousands of information on Google showing facts where we are in a laboratory like Skinner or Ivan Pavlov. You remember the rat? They want to understand the DNA of the rat and how it operates. They starve it, dehydrate it. And this is what's happening to us. Hence why when the vaccine first came out, who did they want to use it on? The original people. Not on themselves. Because if they use it on themselves, they are a mutant beings, which means that they are weaker than we are. So they want to experiment on the stronger gene. Just I hope you follow what I'm saying. We are stronger and resistant, and therefore it's easier to use us as a donkey, a beast of burden, collateral damage, people of the earth, of the sun. And so it has been from the time of separation, a time of consciousness. Sadly, this knowledge has not in any way fed us with the right appetite in order to bring unity, health, peace and prosperity to each other. Instead, it's brought division. While we are aware of the factors that there are genocide in place, experiments in place, people want to understand how the universe works and what they would do. This book is dropped off. Right, and what do? They come to the original family because they know that if you really want to understand anything, come to us, experiment on us. You can see why many black people all over the world did not want to take the vaccine, because Bill Gates has an obsession with Africa. He has an obsession with the people of the earth. Their intention is not, this is not logical that the Western world, which functions on structural racism and raping African from the resources, would then want to keep you alive. We serve a purpose for them to experiment on in order to understand the mysteries of the universe for themselves, drawing our health, drawing our DNA, our strength, and using it for their purpose. We have to be awakened. We have to be sharp. We have to understand the deep African knowledge of survival and secrecy. Because if we do not, it will lead, our ignorance will lead to our total demise.
Born to sing music.
With a humble spirit, with great thought, this video is warning you. There are experiments which continues to go on in Africa in the aid of Christian aid and etc. Western charities, the Bill Gates Foundation, when really Africa is nothing more than a continent of laboratory for Western interest. Because the Westerners has an obsession with science and wanting to find out how the universe came about. If you want to find the answer to this quest, then look no further than the original man, the black man and woman. Any PhD scientist will tell you this. And that explains why they have such a deep hate for the original man. That's the reason why they have such a deep hate, because beauty, poetry, art can be found in Africa, in us. Shouldn't that give us the right to celebrate our blackness, our beauty? Shouldn't that give us an excuse to love and adore and protect each other? I hope this video has been a warning and a blessing for you, my beautiful people.